Welcome to another episode of Business Fumbles. Today's guest is an entrepreneur that has her own business, and I'm going to allow her to introduce herself and to introduce her business before we start to talk about the ups and downs.
Well, good morning, Miss Sheila. Thank you so much for allowing me to be on your show. It's definitely a pleasure. Actually, my experiences with Miss Sheila have been absolutely awesome. My name is Buckner. I am CEO of Vegas Health and Life. I am basically a Medicare broker. Is what I do. So I work with seniors or anyone that's Medicare eligible, meaning you have a red, white, and blue Medicare card. I assist those individuals with enrolling into Medicare health plans. So I've been in business for about 5 years now. Going really well, thank God, doing really well. So yeah, I love what I do. My business is about helping people. That's what I do. Sometimes people don't have families. They're all alone and, trying to navigate through, I'll call it Medicare world. It's not what it's really called, but we'll just call it that. It's very, very challenging. There's a lot of information that people need to know about, turning 65 and now I'm retiring. What do I do? How do I get my health insurance? Because I'm leaving my employer. So I won't have insurance unless I figure out how to use or how to, get in touch with someone that can assist me with my Medicare health plans. So that's pretty much what I do. I help people retire from their employer plan into a Medicare health plan. So navigating that whole process of applying, assisting them with choosing a Medicare health plan is what I do, basically. Yeah. So as a broker, I don't work for one company. I'm an independent business owner, small business, yay.
Yeah.
All that fun stuff. So I assist people with choosing their health plans based on their doctors and their medications. Because a lot of times when you're leaving the commercial side and you're moving over to the Medicare Advantage side, it's not always the same, especially with the network of doctors. Yeah. So I'm beneficial with helping people saying that, I want to keep my doctors, but I also need to make sure that my medications are going to be covered. So I'm pretty much helping them to navigate through that process of getting set up with their Medicare health plan before their employer plan ends, or if it's already ending, then kind of, trying to help them with that process of getting started with their health plan and making sure they have medications and all that good stuff. So
wow, that's good. I'm certainly I'm ecstatic that you're here because I know that that's difficult because my mother, when she switched over, we have such a difficult time finding the best plan for her doctors and things like that because I'm not sure, so I'm gonna ask this question. Don't make me look stupid, okay?
There's no stupid question.
But is the Medicare for those that retired similar to the Medicare that the public aid get? Is it the same?
So are you referring to Medicaid?
Yeah, Medicaid.
Okay, so Medicaid and Medicare are totally different. Okay. So Medicare is the government side, the federal government side. Medicaid is through your state. So every state has some type of Medicaid program. So like California, for example, they call it Medi-Cal, but it's still Medicaid. It's the state program. So the state program is based on income. So if you qualify for that, it's based on the fact that you consider low income.
Oh, okay.
Medicare is the federal government side, which says, I worked for this. So I worked 10 years or I have 40 work credits. So now I'm eligible for my Medicare A and B. So that's the insurance you get because you have enough work credits because you worked long enough to be basically eligible for the Medicare side.
Wow. So now with all of this stuff that Trump is doing, is that going to change?
So, unfortunately, the big, what do you call it, the big beautiful bill?
Yeah.
I call it the big beautiful bonus for them. Because honestly, we don't know, as a broker, I still don't know what that, what it means in entirety. Because it's something they're rolling out. We do know it's going to affect millions of people in regards to who's already having or who's actually already eligible or receiving Medicaid. They may no longer be eligible for Medicaid. So we don't know all the specifics except for some of the things that they kind of mentioned, such as like work requirements. Some people are going to be required to work in order to be eligible for Medicaid.
But they retired. So why would they be required to work?
So well, that's true, but the problem is, well, no. Let's go back. So if they impose a work requirement, that could be a 23-year-old that just has Medicaid because they're eligible for it because they don't work. So now they're going to have to work in order to get those medical benefits.
But that's under the state one,
That's
right?
on the state side. So basically they're imposing some requirements in order for people to be eligible for that program. Because right now, you could be whatever age, and if you meet the requirements based on the income, you actually qualify for Medicaid. But now they're saying we're not just going to give it to you. Basically, you're going to have to work for this. You're going to have to work, or they're saying you're going to have to volunteer for a certain number of hours.
But they did that already with the what is it? The food stamps.
The SNAP.
Yeah, the
EBT.
SNAP and
Yeah.
the cash. You can't get it unless you're working.
Yeah.
They want to know where the money is coming from. So that's not I don't know. That's not a huge problem for me.
So is this a federal imposition on state benefits, basically? Is it?
Basically.
Okay.
So
That's
because the
confusing.
Medicaid is, some of that money does come from the federal government.
I see.
And it funnels to the states, and then now the states are the ones that are saying, okay, you qualify, you don't qualify. But if the federal side cuts that off, then the state's no longer going to be able to fund it, which means you no longer have insurance. So in order to get it, you're going to have to do these certain things or whatever the requirements are in order to keep your Medicaid or to be eligible for Medicaid.
Okay. Does this affect Medicare at all, or is it mostly just for Medicaid?
So we're not sure how that's going to affect the Medicare. I can say I do know it is going to affect Medicare recipients because I have clients that are both Medicare and Medicaid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if my client that worked long enough to, have the Medicare, but they also have Medicaid because they have low income, then if they start imposing certain requirements, that might cause my client to lose their Medicaid status. Now, when someone has Medicare and Medicaid, the biggest benefit is that they're eligible for extra benefits, such as Medicare Part A, you do not pay for. There's no monthly premium for Medicare Part A.
Okay.
Part A covers hospital and hospice. Part B, everybody pays a monthly premium for Part B.
Yeah.
Part B premium is $185 a month. But if you have Medicare and you have certain levels of Medicaid, then the state is actually paying your Part B premium of $185. So that means that individual, they're not paying their own $185. If they lose the Medicaid side or piece, then now they have to pay their
the
own $185 Part B premium.
I see.
Now, if you're already low income and you're already kind of living month to month, you don't have an extra $185 to spend for your Medicare Part B, which you need because Part B covers hospital. Well, Part A covers hospital and hospice, but Part B covers everything outside of hospital and hospice, which means your office visits, hospitalization, surgeries, your specialty visits. That's what the Part B side covers. But if you lose the Part B, then you're only left with Part A, and you have no Medicaid. So that just means you're going to be left with just hospital and hospice coverage only if you don't continue to pay your own Part B premium.
That's horrible.
That's horrible. Yeah, it's bad. So the people that can't afford to pay the Part B, now they're forced to try to figure out, do I have to go back to work part-time to try to cover that Part B premium? Or do I just let it go? The worst thing you can do is don't let it go. But some people, that's their only, especially if you're disabled and you're not really able to work, then how do I pay my Part B premium? So it's either I eat or I have to let the Part B go. So some people are going to be forced to make that decision, unfortunately.
That's really, really sad.
Yeah.
Now, with these changes, you have been in business for 5 years, so I'm sure that you have sort of mastered how to help your clients. Is this going to affect your workload?
It will. I think the challenge for me is going to be trying to find a Medicare health plan that will help cover that piece of it. Because so I'm a broker. I live in Nevada. I'm originally from Michigan, so of course I'm licensed in Michigan, my little home state, and then I'm licensed in 5 other states. So I'm licensed in 6 states total.
Okay.
So in certain states, on the Medicare Advantage side, there are some Medicare health plans that will pay some of your Part B premium. So the challenge for me is going to be trying to help some of those individuals find a Medicare health plan that will help cover some of that 185. It's not there's not a plan that I know of that pays the 185 in full, but there are plans that will pay up to like $150 of the Part B premium, which means you're only left paying whatever's left
40,
over.
yeah.
So right now, this year, the Part B premium is 185. Next year, usually every year it goes up like $10. So next year it might be 195. So the good thing is there are some Medicare Advantage plans that are available to help people to recover, to cover some of that Part B cost, but it's not going to cover the whole thing. So the good thing is, you might have some help. The unfortunate thing is you're still going to have to pay some of it, not all of it.
That's going to be really bad for a lot of people because, seniors, they're already on a fixed income.
They are.
And my mom and my mother-in-law, they bring in pretty good because they got more of a pension than, just Social Security. But even with that pension, it's very hard for them to keep up with their month-to-month bills, and we already are in a frenzy right now in every single state. All over the country.
It's going to affect everybody.
We are already in a frenzy. And what I mean by that is that people cannot afford to live. When you see, videos of nurses make a lot, right? And they're working, doing 10-hour shifts, sometimes 12-hour shifts, and they make a really good amount of money. And when you have them on social media saying that they're living from check to check. And it's hard for them to keep up. Yeah, and then you turn around and you do something like this, you are going to put us in a state that's not going to be great. Yeah. Because in just this last month, I have had clients come in and sit down with me and they're in tears. They don't know what they're going to do, and their business is, I'm not saying that their business is not good. You understand it. You're in business. When you're in business, you're making money. And they say, once you pass the $200,000 or $300,000, you're doing good. But that's not necessily true.
No.
Because you have the expenses to also eat that up. And you have a surplus in your account to cover your payroll and things like that. But you never know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
And with that situation that they're doing now, it's going to require you to do more work. But more than likely, your rate that you get paid is not going to change.
It's not going to change at all.
Exactly.
For sure. And I will have to spend more time because a lot of my clients, they're good where they are. So I only have to move them or change them if something happens. They have a life experience. They need to change a doctor. My doctor changed my medications. Okay, now I need to review your plan and maybe, look at changing you to something else. But in this situation, it's going to be more of, I'm going to have to help you find something. Because really, if you're saying you have no other option, you don't have friends, you don't have family, you don't have anybody that's going to help you recover or be able to pay that 185, you're going to be looking to your broker to say, okay, what do I do with this? Because I need health insurance. I mean,
right.
God forbid anybody that is eligible for health insurance decides to go without health insurance. So that's definitely going to cause, more time to be spent trying to assist my clients. But, that's what I do. And of course, no, I don't get paid anymore for doing that. It's just, it comes along with the business.
But I want you to elaborate too on how important it is to have that life insurance, because my husband, he works 9 to 5, and he had insurance, and then I had insurance off of what is that? Obamacare, where you go on there, you're self-employed, and you get your insurance. Some people, they only pay a little. It's expensive for me. You know,
It
like
is. It's
I'm like,
very
man,
expensive.
I might as well go to Blue Cross Blue.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't saving me no money. But
It's expensive.
but when I
I did
when
not know that actually.
yeah, it costs a lot.
It's very
like
expensive.
$800-900 a month for
Very
just me
expensive.
and my husband. But when my husband was working, usually they will charge you more because
Because
you
your
are,
spouse.
have insurance on his side. So you don't need their insurance. And I remember my husband, he's like, well, why are we still paying for that? You need to cancel that out because I got insurance on my job. And I promise you, something in me was like, I'll cancel it next month. I'll cancel it next month. I'll cancel it next month. A year went by and I was still canceling it the next month and I was paying it and everything. But guess what? He got laid off.
Ooh.
And when he got laid off, they stopped his insurance a month before he got laid off. And that's illegal.
I was going to say, is that
wow.
legal?
You can't
Yes,
do that.
they canceled his insurance a month before he got laid off. And I got sick
Oh no.
and I ended up in the hospital.
Oh,
So
wow.
he was just like, he gave them the insurance because he said, well, my insurance is still good because they have to insure us until the end of the month. And they told him, no, this insurance is no good. And he was like, what are you talking about? I just got laid off. What are you talking about?
Oh wow.
And so he was freaking out like, oh, now we don't have no insurance. And I looked over at him and I was like, yeah, we do. I never canceled the other one.
Oh my god.
And he
wow.
looked at me and he said, you never canceled it? And I was like, no. And he just, you know, that look
That
was
look, yeah.
like, we've been losing money all of this time. That's
Yeah.
what his look was.
Yeah.
You know, because he was like, and so I gave her the card and she came back and she was like, yeah, everything is good. And he was happy that
Yeah.
everything was good and we didn't have that bill.
Yeah.
But
I would have been so confused if I was him. I would have been like, I'm mad at you, but also
But I'm
so
not mad.
thankful
Yeah.
that you did
Yeah.
this. Actually, never
And that's
mind.
how
I'm going
he
to take
was.
it back. Yeah.
that's how he was.
Yeah.
Because I was even afraid to say, yeah, I didn't cancel that other product. I was so scared because I kept on like, because they were going back and forth and he was like, yeah, we got insurance. Yeah, we got insurance or whatever. And when she said, no, it's canceled or whatever, and he called his job and he's on his job arguing with them and everything. And so then he was like, now what are we going to do? Because now she's got to reinstate it and she got to do all of this stuff. And I was like, well,
You know, I
Yeah.
gotta tell you something.
and he was like, we got no insurance. And I'm like, yeah, we do. And he looked over at me like, we do. And I was like, I never canceled the other
Oh, my
policy.
goodness.
You made it sound like you bought a car
Well,
without
I
telling
know,
kind of
right?
thing.
Like,
I was
I
just like, by the
forgot
way,
to
there's a
tell you
Lexus
something.
outside.
Be like, where is it? It's been parked at the neighbor's
Neighbor's house,
I
yeah.
drive it when you're not home.
Yeah, and the look on his face was like, what? Because he said, what? And I was like, I never canceled that policy. And so he just went in his wallet and gave them the card. And then
That's nice.
when they left and we were in the room by ourselves, I knew he was thinking because he was real quiet and he's just sitting there, you know, and he's just like going through his stuff or whatever. And then he finally asked, how much we paying a month? And then I said, okay, he's mad. But but in the end, he was happy.
okay,
It didn't
yeah.
cause a problem
Yeah.
for the family because we really needed that, you know,
Yeah.
and I was happy. But I want you to elaborate on why it's important to have that insurance because a lot of people go without insurance. And I don't think that that's wise.
It's not wise at all. And I get it. You know, when it comes to my living expenses and food, you know, I got to figure out something. And then usually in my experience, I think more people that are generally healthy and they say, I don't take no medicine. I don't go to the doctor. I haven't seen a doctor in years. They usually, feel like I don't need it because I'm fine. And even if they could afford it, you have some people that can afford it and they still opt to not take it because they feel like, I'm okay, I'm good. And then the people that need it but can't afford it, then they're saying, okay, I got to let it go. But it is definitely something that you don't want to just automatically say, let it go. Talk to somebody, reach out to somebody and find out, are there some resources available that can help me to make sure I can maintain or, keep what I have before I lose it? Because sometimes, there's somebody there, you just don't know, who to talk to, or how to connect.
Yes.
So my practice with my clients when I'm talking to them and I'm enrolling them for the first time, because I'm very hands-on with my clients, it's like, if you have any issues, if you have any questions, call me. If you have an issue with something, call me. You lose your job and now you can't pay your Part B, whatever it is, call me. So let's talk about it, because there are some ways that I probably know of that you don't, that might be able to help you, to keep what you have. But by all means, especially in this day and age, don't let your insurance go, because you need it. You definitely need your health insurance. And there's always, and even if you find out, okay, I've exhausted all of my, resources, nobody can help me, at least you try. But don't just say the first thing is like, okay, just got to let it go. And especially if you're taking medication. Yeah, because you definitely don't want to do that, because you have people that are taking meds and they say, well, I can't afford it. I had a lady tell me, this was about a week ago. It was a lady I met, and she said, I was at an event, and so she asked me for my business card. So I gave her my business card, and she said, I need to call you because I need to figure out how to get this, medicine issue that I'm having under control. She said, I'm literally taking a half of my pill to try to stretch them out, because I don't have the money to afford because they're so expensive. And she said, so I take a half a pill a day instead of one whole pill a day, because I know eventually in the next, 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to run out of my medication. And so I told her, no, call me, because, the problem is the health plan that she's on wasn't covering her medications 100%. So her copays were really, really high. So I told her, no, we might be able to figure out, there might be another plan available that covers your medication better than the company that you're currently with, because the companies all have formularies, which means they all cover, some of them cover the same thing, some of them cover the same thing, but at a higher copay. And if you're kind of strapped for, money, and I think she told me she was door dashing, and this woman is like in her 70s.
No
What?
way. I've heard that a lot. Yeah.
She's in
What?
her
Are you
70s.
kidding me?
Yeah,
Yep, she's
a
in
lot
her
of
70s.
people. Yeah, I work in like food industry, and a lot of those guys, they'll be like 60, 70 still waiting tables, and then they go, oh yeah, I DoorDash or I Uber on the side and stuff like that, because they need a little extra cash to cover for their medical bills. There was a guy I knew that actually, he was a grandpa, and he had medical bills and everything. He had a crazy life when he was younger, so he had some health problems because of that. But he was just like, in order to maintain that, he goes, he literally had just finished. I was going to work at 5 p.m. He had just got off of a Uber shift. He just did a bunch of rides and stuff like that. He's like, I needed it. I was like, why? He's like, well, I had to get some extra medication for him and his wife, because his wife also had issues too.
Yeah.
And he's providing for his wife still, even 60s, 70s, but he's like, he's got to work. He didn't have an option.
And what's crazy is I know her because her sister is my client. And so she said, I need to talk to you because, she helps her sister take care of all of her stuff, because I work with her, take care of her sister's insurance. And so she said, I need to call you. So when I went to meet with her, I text her to say, I'm here. But you know how some people, when they live in a apartment type community and all the numbers on all the buildings are the same, but the building has like a G or A.
Yes.
So I called her and I said, which building are you in, building A? Or I'm like, am I supposed to be in the front? And so she said, oh, I'm sorry. She said, yeah, I'm on the side. I'm like in building E. So I'm like, she said, yeah, all the buildings have the same apartment numbers. You just have to. So I told her, okay, I'm here. I'm parked. And so she said, okay, give me a few minutes. She said, I'm just finishing up a delivery. I'm like, okay. So when she got to the apartment and I was getting out the car and I saw her coming up, and she said, I am so sorry. She said, yeah, I went to do my delivery, and she said, I got turned around. I was across the street from where I was supposed to be or something, and I couldn't find a suite number. And I said, delivery? And she said, yeah. She said, I do DoorDash. She said, I do DoorDashing on the side, when I can. She said, I try to do a little bit, a couple of, deliveries every day. And I'm like, so literally, you taking a half a pill a day because you're trying to stretch your medicine. You're getting Social Security, and you're door dashing on the side.
That makes me so mad because, you know,
and she doesn't qualify for Medicaid because her income is too high. So she has to door dash.
So she can't.
To
She
try
has
to
to pay the
supplement.
Plan B.
but then they give, but see, this is what I'm talking about. It makes me so mad because they give these people the food stamps. Then you got
Able-bodied people that can work.
able-bodied people that can work, and they on Section 8, they paying their rent, they doing all of this stuff. And for the longest time, I'm telling you, even when my kids were small, and I lived in Chicago, and they were trying to give me all of those services, I didn't take them because I'm not going to be a part of your system where you tell me it's okay for me to be lazy. Listen, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. And it's you know, more than, I'm going to say 90% of it is because, you know, we got all of this wisdom that we take from the Bible. Okay. But I don't think that God intended on us to be lazy. He didn't. Because if he did, you know, we can look at the animals. He says that he supplies for the animals, you know, but those animals, they work.
They working.
They work.
And the Bible says if you don't work, you don't
eat.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Yes.
Yep.
They work, but then it's okay for you to have a person and you pay their rent because they got 6, 7, 11, 12 kids. It's okay for you to do that, but you have a woman that worked her life. Now she's in retirement, you know, and she done paid into her Social Security and Medicare. She done did that.
And now she has to
and
come
now
out
she
of work.
gotta
come out of work to go back to work.
to go back to work.
So she can pay her, you know, help supplement her income so she can, you know, take care of living expenses and, you know, food and all of that.
How is that fair?
You know, honestly,
that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
I can go on a rant. Don't get me started.
It don't make. Listen,
no, but things like that, Tim, needs to be discussed because you know, you have people out here and they do these videos, right? And they talk about these things, and everybody is up under it, having their comments or whatever. But I'm here to say that this is serious. This is not, you know, just having a conversation on your opinion. Okay, we can look at it realistically. Any individual can look at it realistically and use your common sense, okay, to know that, no, this ain't right. That's not right because those elderly people, they have done their job. They have worked. My mom worked until she was able to retire. I know that. And although she worked and she get her pension, I mean, that's one thing. She does get a little Social Security too. But she did her time.
What she's supposed to do,
And she should be able to
retire,
be okay,
and relax, and enjoy retirement and all of that good stuff. Like my mother is 72; she'll be 73 next week, and she's still working. She works part time. She works part time, but it's you know, it's by choice. But she does work part time. But she said, "Oh no, I need to work because you know." And I get it. We live in Nevada, so I get it when she says, "Oh no, I need to work." You know, even though I'm not working full time, I'm working part time. But what's sad is, like you said, we have all these seniors that have put in their time. They've worked 30 and 40, whatever, and then decided to retire. And then you have these other set of people that feel like, I'm gonna just let y'all take care of me because I don't. So I understand why, you know, part of the bill was the work requirement because I do agree. I do agree with you. You 24, 25 and you not doing nothing. You're not working. You're not going to school. But you're getting Medicaid or you're getting SNAP, and there's nothing wrong with you. Yeah, you need to go to work. You should be working.
There's no reason you can't take care of yourself.
There's no reason you can't work. And then on the other side, so before becoming a Medicare broker, I used to be a caseworker for the Department of Health and Human Service before I moved here. So in Michigan, I was the caseworker side, helping people get their SNAP and get their Medicaid and applying for the child care assistance and cash assistance and emergency assistance and all of that stuff. So I did that for 8 years. And just like you were saying, I had clients then, you know, you got 4 kids, you're not working. Some of your babies in elementary, some of them are at home, but you don't work. You got Section 8, so your rent is being paid. I mean, how do you not pay rent and your rent is, you know, $85 a month? And you're getting Medicaid.
Yeah.
And you're getting food assistance. And then all you do is every 9 to 10 months, you call and say, oh, I just want to let you know, Miss Lachelle, I just had another baby. I mean, all of that. And I'm just like, when does this cycle stop?
Yeah.
And why do you feel like it's okay? I'm like, because at a certain point, I would be ashamed of myself. Like, okay, I got 6 kids. I'm not with none of their daddies. And I mean,
no, she didn't.
Listen, I ain't with none of them.
She don't hit a nerve.
She worked the cases. Listen, she can say that. We all have family, but she worked the cases.
Listen, I got all. Listen, this is what it is, and they don't feel any shame with calling me to say, "Yeah, I just want to let you know I'm on baby number 6. I'm about to have another baby, so I just want to prepare you because I'm gonna be calling you with the baby name so you can." So I'm just like, come on, y'all, like. You know, what are you teaching your children?
Exactly.
Because your children grow up and some of them, they're not all of them, because my mother took assistance when she needed to, you know, when she was between jobs and she got laid off because she worked for General Motors, she worked for State of Michigan, so that type of thing. So I get it. You take the assistance as you need it, but you don't homestead there. You don't say, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm just going to do this for the rest of my life. Because I'm like, what type of life is that when you're depending on somebody else to always give you, you know, your medical, you know, the food? Because if they decide to cut their SNAP off, then what do you do?
They're having that problem now. And everybody is up,
and they're having that problem.
Shambles.
They're having it now. So when I was getting ready to relocate here, what was strange is the state was trying to implement this where, you know, if you get on assistance and you got 5 kids now, don't call us talking about you got 6 and you still not working, you're not going to school. So they were trying to cut back on it, saying we're not going to give you more money for every child you keep having, and you know, we give you some more SNAP and now we give you more cash assistance. Not sure how far they went with that, because I ended up, you know, I was leaving, I was actually relocating here. But I get it. You do have to set some guidelines so some people will, you know, become self-sufficient, because if not, you just laying around for no reason saying, oh, I'm not sick, but I got Medicaid if I need it, or I get SNAP and I don't have to go to work for it, that type of thing. So I do feel like, you know, some of that is necessary, but what I'm hoping is that they don't come for the seniors. Don't come for the retired. Don't come for the seniors that are, you know, that are disabled.
Leave the seniors alone.
Leave them alone. And even the ones that are disabled, because I have some seniors that have Medicare, but they didn't work long enough to, you know, get a lot of Social Security, or some of them didn't hardly work at all.
But they're disabled.
You know, you have. There's always somebody different with a different type of situation and circumstance as to why. I have some clients in their 40s or 50s and they're on Medicare. Because generally, you get Medicare when you're 65. But if you were disabled for some reason, from a job or from an illness, there are some people under 65 and they actually have it, but they also have Medicaid too.
Is there some situations where you can get it sooner? Like maybe 64?
Yeah. So if you're disabled, there's...
Oh, disabled. Look, maybe 64.
So if you're
I'm making my plans over here now. Okay, what about 64?
No, Miss Sheila, don't worry about it.
No, you fine. Yeah.
They probably look at me like, girl, if you don't get out of my face.
Yeah, there are some situations where people do have Medicare and they're not 65. I have some, you know, like I said, I have some clients that are in their 40s and 50s and early 60s, and they're not 65 yet, and they have Medicare because it's based on a disability.
Oh,
so in that case, Trump, leave the disabled alone. Just don't even
leave
do
the disabled and the elderly.
The elderly.
You know, you could go after the other ones. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But the elderly and the disabled, leave them alone.
Yeah, their hands off.
But when I was in Chicago, you know, there was this program, and I talk about this all the time. There was a program that Catholic Charities,
they have that here,
was doing it, and it was called transitional housing.
Okay,
that's what it's called.
I think I've heard of it, but I don't know.
But
exactly
transitional housing was, they would take someone that had like 3-4 kids, was single. They would bring them into this program, And what they did was they had purchased all of these nice homes, all of these condos. They owned them. And they would put the family up in those condos. And they got to live rent-free for 2 years. They paid for their daycare. They made sure that they was able to get back and forth to work. And the only thing that the person had to do was she had to work. She had to put the money in the bank. She could not use the money just for anything. So they would meet with her, was it quarterly or monthly? I think it was quarterly. And then they would go through her bank account to make sure that she saved the money. And then they paid for you to go to school. So you were able to go to part-time work and then go to school. And they paid for your child care and everything. And then the 2 years when it was up, here's the thing. The 2 years when it was up, most of them was getting their associate's degree. Or whatever. And so then Catholic Charities would look at their situation and say, okay, we'll give you another 2 years, but you got to continue this.
And you
right?
get like the bachelor's kind of
Yeah. And so they would get their bachelor's, but guess what? Everyone that transitioned, I think it was like 80% of them, they transitioned from that house or free housing and they brought their own house. Because they had all of that money and now they had a career to make sure that they could pay
maintain it.
That right there was perfect.
Oh, I was going to say, I was like, you agreed with that program. Because that thing sounds insanely good.
That was a good program.
It was a very good program. I don't know if they still have it.
I don't either.
But it was a good program. And I knew people that was in it. Unfortunately, one of the girls, she only was able to stay the 2 years because she didn't follow. You know, she had her kids, but she didn't follow the program. And then she would complain like, they all in my business, want to look at my bank account. Girl, would you shut up?
I was like, they're literally setting you up for the rest of your
life.
But it's the mentality, it's the mindset that they don't have. That, you know, it's like, you know, I don't want people in my business. And I'm like, no, they're trying to help you. They're trying to give you a better way of life. You know, and then you're being an example to your children. Like, you know, somebody helped us. Now I'm going to show you by going to school and working. This is what we do. This is how we become citizens that, you know, we take care of ourselves. We don't depend on people, all of that. But I remember that program. I don't know if they still have it.
Yeah, that was a very good program.
I think they still have programs like that too.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Especially there are colleges.
They tried to get me in.
There are colleges that fund that kind of stuff too, because if they know that you have good scores, they know that you're going to be contributing to society. They want to have the credit that they made you.
They made you
and stuff like that. So they'll put you up.
I know they was after me. And when I was in Chicago, they said, we're going to put you up in this place. And I was like, I'm fine. I pay my rent. You know, well, you get to go to school. I go to school. I already got I got 2 associates already. Everything y'all trying to give me, I'm doing it on my own. I don't need that. But I do agree with your program. And then they wanted me to come out and speak because there was a lot of things that they offered me that I didn't take. You know, like they would just call and say, is everything okay? Is your car running? Do you need us to fix your car? And I was like, no, I'm fine. And one of the social workers or whatever, they said, wow, you know, we have you on the list to check on you and you're always on top of your thing. I have my children. I chose to have my children. I'm going to take care of my children, you know, but I do agree with the program. I think it was a wonderful program. And anybody that would talk to me and say, oh, well, I'm having this problem, whatever, I would be like, oh, yeah, you need to go check out this program because that program is good, you know, because some people need it. Some people need it.
True.
Yeah, they do.
I strive better. You know, I have to be honest. I strive better when I'm under pressure. I don't know why.
Same. If I know that someone is expecting me to do something, like they've given me a chance, and all I got to do is meet this deadline or do this thing.
Yeah,
it pushes me to be like, whoa,
it does.
That's the only thing I got to do. Why would I not do it?
Yeah,
that's actually. Like, not to get on the story, but like that's how I graduated high school because I was in homeschool for the first 3 years, so I didn't actually get real credits for my my classes. So my counselor, when I went to senior year, I went to actual public high school for senior year because my parents wanted me to get a real graduation diploma, and the counselor's like, you're going to need to get the credits somehow. I was like, what do you think I should do? She's like, well, there's a program. You could just take tests and get the credits and stuff like that, do test out. I was like, okay, well, we didn't talk about this till halfway through senior year. And we're halfway through the quarter now. Like, there's only one quarter left. How am I supposed to get 10 credits in one quarter? She's like, you're going to have to test every single day. Every day, straight till graduation. And I remember I went to the testing site and everything like that. And the lady, she was so negative. She goes, I've never seen anyone do that every day. So I'm going to tell you right now, she's like, pace yourself. Give yourself 6 months, 8 months. Like, don't worry about it. You'll graduate when you graduate. My father did not allow that. He was like, no son of mine is not graduating on time.
That's right.
He goes, how many weeks do you need? I was like, 10. He goes, how many weeks do you have left in school? I was like, 11. He's like, it sounds like you have a spare week. And I was like, oh my gosh. I did it. I did it in 9.
Wow.
And the teacher was like, I have never seen anyone do this. And it was because I had a deadline. I had something that someone was expecting of me. I just had to meet it. That was it.
Yeah.
And so
That's
I
weird.
think more people need that though.
Yeah, they do.
I'm like that.
They do.
When I'm under pressure and I have deadlines, I don't know. I don't know what I turn into. It's like, you know, like an engine roaring up, and I go and I go and I go and I figure it out. You know, and sometimes it's hard when you're going through those hard, you know, spots. Sometimes
You need a push.
it
Sometimes you
can
need
be
help.
very, very discouraging. And when I'm experiencing failure, because everybody, you know, fails at something, you do something and it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
It angers me deep down.
Yeah.
I get this ball of anger, you know, and it's almost like I feel like the world is telling me, you can't do it.
Can't do it.
And that makes me angry. And then I go into this, you know, like where I'm
I'm going to prove that wrong.
I'm pedaling a
everybody wrong.
train with
Yeah.
100 people on it, and I'm going to prove them wrong. And that's how I am. And my family, they see it because I get real quiet. I won't talk. I don't interact with anybody. And it's not a good situation because I get that way.
Yeah.
And I don't, you know, communicate. I don't interact. It's just that I'm quiet and I'm focused. And then when it's all over, I come out like a little brush of rainbow. Hi, how's everybody doing? And they're like, this girl is so bipolar.
Yeah.
You're like, last week she wasn't saying nothing. She was
Yeah.
quiet. We couldn't get her to answer no questions.
I think we all been there. I know.
Yes,
I
we have.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, but I really think that your job is very important, and the people need to know that insurance is important.
It is.
Like that little trip at the doctor when that situation happened, and I think I was in there 2 days. The bill was over 100 and something thousand
Oh,
That's nuts.
yeah.
for 2 days.
Yeah.
It was 100. I looked at the bill and I was like, why?
You're like,
Yeah.
because we ran this test and we did that test and then we had to go to this lab. And you're like, so, you know, to them, they're adding it all up. But to you, you're like, all I did was lay in bed for 2 days.
2 days.
And, you know, watch
Yeah.
y'all do my blood work and you brought me some food. And like, what else did you do? You took my temperature and
But imagine having that bill.
yes, with no insurance.
Having that
No
bill
insurance.
on
with
you.
no insurance.
And you're, you know, you don't have any insurance. And I
Yeah.
think that when you don't have insurance, they don't expect you to pay the full. They give you half of it.
So usually,
I think that's what it is.
Usually what they do is they'll work it out where they give you, usually they don't charge you the whole thing. They give you like,
Yeah.
okay, we took this off and we took that off. So some type of discount, whatever, because,
Yeah.
you know, when you know, they know they're not going to get all that money.
all of that money, right? But I think they go down to half because I had that situation when COVID happened. COVID happened, and I paid my insurance on the Obamacare, but you know how
ACA.
the first of the year, or you have to re-enroll or something, and something happened where I enrolled with another agent, and it took my insurance off of the Obamacare. It was a mess. So when I ended up being hospitalized for COVID because I had pneumonia, that bill I had to pay for.
What?
Yeah. And I didn't have any insurance. And I think the bill was like 60. And
No
I ended
way.
up having to pay 30.
So
That's
when you ended the
crazy.
one insurance, the other one was supposed to start, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to start, but because of my pre-existing situations, it didn't go through. But the other one, I was still paying because it was on auto pay.
Okay.
And then they ended up reimbursing me the money.
Okay, because they had canceled you because they thought you had switched over to the
switched
other
over
one.
to the other
Oh,
one.
I
So
see.
what are they trying? Were they trying to make you go through underwriting because you had a pre-existing condition? So they didn't know
Yeah.
for sure if they were really going to take you.
But they contacted the other one
Okay.
and let them know that I was coming under them.
Okay, so they
And
canceled
so,
you.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then I ended up having my insurance back, but at that time I was
didn't have any insurance?
I didn't
Oh,
have
that's
any
crazy.
insurance.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's
Yep.
hard.
So, I mean, I'm just telling this story to explain the importance of having insurance. My son, he was 20 something and he didn't have any insurance, saying, I don't need no insurance, I'm healthy or whatever. But he got insurance.
Yeah.
I made him go on there and he has this, I think he got Blue Cross Anthem or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I make him pay that bill.
Yeah.
Because you know, even though you're healthy,
You never
you're
know.
doing good, you
You have
never
no idea.
know.
You
You
never
can get
know.
into a car accident.
Yeah.
You know, and then you got all of these medical bills
Yeah.
and all of that. So I make sure that my kids have their insurance. Get your insurance.
Absolutely.
That happened to my brother one time. It was just crazy because nothing happened from this, but he was passing out at work, just randomly like losing consciousness,
wow.
and we don't know what it was. And fortunately, we have a friend who was he's a neurologist, and so my brother was in this really weird position where he's 25, 26 is like when the insurance goes away.
Yeah.
And when his new insurance would kick in, there was like a good like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And so it was like, well, I only have 2 weeks left on my parents' insurance. And I like open enrollment's not till then. I'm not going to get that new insurance till then. And so the doctor, thank goodness he was a friend, he pushed him through. And he's like, I got to see you then tomorrow. And he pushed all his clients back and everything like that. He got checked. They did the x-rays. They did the MRIs. They did everything. We never found out. Nothing ever happened. But if he could not have, like, if it, God forbid, it was something more serious,
Yeah.
he would have been completely
without coverage.
without coverage and not know what to do. That just the panic alone would have caused more problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like I definitely after that I stand by. I was like, you need to not leave yourself unprotected.
Unprotected. You
Yeah.
should always be
You
protected.
should always be protected. So, you're either applying for Medicaid. Make sure if you have Medicare, do whatever you can do to try to maintain it, that Part B premium. So reach out to somebody to say, hey, is there some help for me, on this side? Or in your case, some people do the ACA, they call it the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare. If you can afford to do that, then, try that as well. So don't just not take it because you just never know. Like you were saying, if you get in a car accident, the other person doesn't have insurance. Some of them, they just driving with no insurance. And you don't have any insurance on yourself or health-wise. So now what do? So, yeah, if by all means in this day and time, please make sure you get some insurance.
Right.
Talk to somebody. And if you absolutely just can't, work towards it.
And in Obamacare, I'm going to say this. We do pay a lot, but the government pays the other half.
So that's
I pay $800
and
they pay $1,300-$1,400.
So they're sponsoring some of what
they sponsor some of it. So it's worth it.
Yeah.
You might not have to pay what I pay because it goes by your
It's based
income.
on your income.
It's based off of your income. So if your income is low, you can have insurance and pay $100, $200, $80, $50.
Right.
Everybody can be insured, but you have to put your information in there and they will tell you how much they'll pay for you. Imagine me trying to pay $2,000 and something a month for some health insurance.
That's crazy.
And that's the other thing I'm hoping that he doesn't come after next is on the Obamacare side is that piece that, they're covering. Because if he comes after that, then my other fear is that the people that have the Obamacare insurance, they're going to say, I can't afford this, and they're going to be without insurance now because they don't qualify for Medicaid. They don't have insurance through work by choice, or either the employer doesn't offer it or you're self-employed, so you do your own insurance. and now they're going to opt to say, I can't pay $2,000 a month for Obamacare, and I definitely got too much income for Medicaid. So now I just have no
Well,
insurance.
who knows? Maybe he is gonna
I'm
do
praying,
that because he doesn't want Obamacare. He's trying everything to get rid of it
so
because it got Obama's name on it.
Right. So
that's the only reason.
Right. So that's my fear, is that if he comes after that piece, then a lot of people that could afford it, like you do, they're going to say, I can't afford that, so I have to let it go.
And just imagine what our society would be like with everybody not being able to afford
insurance
to go to the hospital. You're going to have the hospitals really losing, because when people get sick, they're not thinking about the bill. They gonna go to the hospital. They gonna go to that emergency
And some
room.
of the hospitals are closing now. Some states, they're already closing the hospitals because of the funding being cut.
Oh wow!
And then they're into, like, there's a hospital, I don't remember what state, I saw it on the news the other day. They're closing because they know the changes are coming with what the new bill. They've already closed. They've already said, we're gonna be closing soon.
Wow.
So
because they can't afford it.
They can't afford it.
Because when you go into the hospital, they have to take care of you, and you don't have any insurance. How they gonna get the money? They even have people walking around for those ones that's coming in, trying to get them on public aid. Now public aid is being cut like tremendously. So that's gonna close a lot of good hospitals.
Yeah.
It's gonna close a lot of good hospitals. We just, like, I wish that people could put the politics to the side, just for a little bit. If they could put the politics to the side, if they could put their viewpoints just to the side, like, because a lot of people agree with him, and they are basing it off of their views or what they've been taught by their parents. I was speaking, this was about maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, to a company and their staff, and we were talking about some statements that was made by another employee or whatever, and it was his viewpoints on that politics, which turned into a situation. And my statement was to them, listen, everybody has a right to feel the way that they feel. Everybody has a right to their opinions. They do. But I'm here to tell you, that if you have an opinion and you have a statement that you will put out there in the air and it benefits 2 while it hurts 10 or 20, it ain't a good view.
It's not.
I agree.
A view that hurts anyone, whether it's 1 person, 2 persons, or 4 persons. It's not good. And you need to really sit down and evaluate yourself for accepting that, because it shouldn't hurt anyone. Anything good is going to be good for everybody. It's not going to be good for just 1 or 2 people. It's going to be good for everybody. So if you put that out there and it hurts people, it's not good. So you guys, everyone that's sitting here and you're listening, you choose what you want to be a part of.
Yeah.
Because if it's not helping everybody, then it ain't good, then you shouldn't be doing it. Point blank. So that goes with anything. That goes with anything. If they could put the politics to the side, if they could put their views to the side and just sit and think how it affects everyone. How does it affect everyone? If they could do that, I think that we can get further. We will be able to get further with everything that they're trying to do. No government is going to be perfect. I only know one, and I'm not going to mention it. But no government is going to be perfect. But if they could just put their viewpoints to the side and look at doing good, doing good,
Doing good, yeah.
for everyone. That good is going to affect everyone.
I even think the reason that humanity has even made it to this point, some of the things that we have that I say is commonplace, running water, electricity, insurance itself that we were talking about all morning. It's because we were like, well, how do we make things better for everybody else? Right. That was literally the base idea. Like, how do we get everybody running water? How do we get everybody electricity? How do we get the world connected with the internet and blah, 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 blah. It's just basic things of how to help other people. Yeah, sure, there was people motivated by money, how to make money off of it, whatever. Yeah. But at the end of the day, water's almost like a right. Like, if you don't have running water in a village or a town, that's not a village or a town. It's a basic human right, necessity. So in the same way, I think that the only reason we've got so far as a people is because of those ideals. And if your ideals don't worry about how your opinions affect everyone, right? Yeah, you should rethink the way you're looking at the world, because you're not worrying about how to help everybody else.
That's perfect.
And honestly, I think you have to put yourself in the other person's shoes, and that's what they don't do.
Never happen, but
that's what they don't do. They're like, no,
it'll never happen.
Like, cut it off. Look, nope, cut it off. But it's like, what if that was your mother or your sister or your family member? Just because you're doing good and the government's taking care of you or whatever, that's not everybody's situation. So, and then too, we don't help each other. It's all about me, what I want, my family. Yeah. We don't, because back in the day, your neighbor used to be almost like your parents and all that. Yeah. So if you got in trouble and Miss Smith came next door and be like, let me tell you what Lachelle just did. I saw her down the street and I know you told her, don't leave that yard. Yeah. And it was okay for your neighbor to discipline you. Discipline you.
100%.
And if and if your mother found out you was talking back, she'd be like, oh, so you got smart with Miss Smith. So you were accountable to somebody else besides your parent. That they taught you to respect other people. You treated other people how you want to be, that type of thing. And that's what we don't do. So
yeah, that's
unfortunately it is. I mean, for the most part, you still have some people that they love other people. They want to help other people, but then you have some people that's just, it's all about me and mine, and we don't care nothing about that. So we got to get back to that for sure.
A lot of seniors though are suffering.
They are,
and you really need to be praised for the work that you're doing, because that's what you're focusing on is the senior and trying to make sure that they have what they need. Now, my mom, she had 9 of us.
Oh, wow.
So we kick in. All of us are kicking in to help her. But what about those that don't have that?
Yeah. I have some clients, they have nobody. Like when I say, where's your daughter? They're, oh, she's in California. Where are your grandkids? Oh, they live in Texas. So I'm like, you've been in Nevada all this time by yourself? Like, you have nobody, you have no transportation. So you count on your neighbors and the people at church, whoever, to help you. And sometimes those people aren't available. Listen, I've had clients call me at 8:00 at night saying, I don't have a way to go to the pharmacy to get my medicine. They got me at CVS the next morning at 8:00 in the drive-through trying to pick up medicine just to go drop it off because they don't have anybody. I need a ride to go get my labs done, that type of thing. I'm taking to get your labs. And I said, you want to get something to eat on the way home? They're like, oh, if you don't mind, I just like to stop at Walmart because I pick up a few things. They're in there grocery shopping, that type of thing. So honestly, some of these people are almost like family. Because I'm like, what if this was my grandmother or my aunt? They don't have anybody. I would want somebody to help them. So yeah, when I say some of these people, it's sad to be in your elderly years and you've worked all this time, you've raised your kids, you got grandchildren, but now you have nobody to help you take care of things. So when you got good kids like you and your siblings, that will actually come back and really say, Mom, thank you. Like, now it's our time to take care of you, because you took care of us and, you did right by us. So now let us, help you and not have our own lives and do our own thing. So Yeah, it's really sad, but I love what I do. So yeah.
That's good.
That's good. Yeah, it's getting rarer to see that. Like, obviously, appreciation for what you do, because I see it all the time too. Like, I see it. I work in a restaurant. I hear it all the time. An old person sitting there eating and everything like that. And I just talk to them. I don't do anything crazy. I just talk to them, and they're like, "Oh, you're such a nice young man." Da, 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 da. You know, my kids are busy with their lives. Yeah, I don't get to see them. I don't get to talk to them. I don't know what's going on. I have grandchildren. I barely know their names.
Don't see them.
And it's like the and I get it. I don't think the kids are ungrateful to their parents. It's just they forget. Yeah. They forget about them, and I feel like in society we're forgetting about our older ones. And they need someone to look out for them for sure. So.
Well, I know, like my family, they all, when we were just down there for our family reunion, and there was several people made the comment like, Sheila talks to mom every day, and I do. I call my mom every day. I don't know why. I've been that way since I left her home and I got married. I called her every day. And now I wake up, that's the first thing that I do. I get a cup of coffee and I call her. And we will talk for like 30 minutes to an hour. And I'll say, Mom, I got to get ready for work, and that's every morning. And they were like, why do you call her every morning? And it's like, I don't know. That's just a part. It's just a part of who I am. I don't know. I just call her every morning.
I think that's just human nature. I think it is natural for every human being to care about another human being by them. Someone who raised them, someone who lived with them. You see little kids, they play with the kid in kindergarten that they never know. They never met. They don't even know their name. It's natural. I think we learn as we get older, I can't trust everybody. I can't talk to some people. I can't be friends with everybody. And then we become adults and I only talk to the people at work or my family members, and that's it. Like you don't go out of your comfort zone. And now you can't tell somebody at the gym, "Oh, you did a really good job," or "Oh, good form," or whatever. Because people are like, why are you talking to me? Like, people don't want people to approach them ever. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little like that. If someone came up to me in the grocery store and they try to strike up a conversation, I'd be like, do I know you? Like, why are you trying to talk to me? But like, there was a time where that was normal, where someone would be like, I like your bracelet. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Like, that is so normal. And we've gotten away from that.
We have.
And what's funny is
that's true.
Going back to the old people still have this though.
Yeah,
they will go up to you and they'll talk to you. And I love that about them. I'm just like, that is so human. And I think you calling your mom every morning and stuff like that. My dad randomly texted me what he's eating for lunch at work, and I'd be like, oh my God, that looks delicious and stuff like that. Like, that was all I was thinking when you were saying that. And I was just like, it's normal. It's normal. This is normal human behavior and stuff like that. And
they make me feel sometimes like it's not normal, because even my sisters, them like, every day, though, every day. And my sister is down there with her now. And she's staying till the end of July, and then I'm going back in August. I don't know. It's just, I need to just hear her voice and make sure that she's okay. But at the same time, my mom helps to develop who I am because she knows me so well. So when I say something, she'll be like, yeah, Sheila, and it brings awareness to the things that I still need to work on. And so I don't know. I talk to her every day.
That's so sweet. I like that.
And when we're in the stores, what you said is so funny, because people will come up to me. I don't know, maybe it's just a badge on my forehead to say it's okay to talk to her. Because I have people like in the stores, they just come up to me, they strike up a conversation, and my husband be like, they be showing me pictures out of their wallet and stuff. And my husband, he's like, do you know them? I was like, no, I don't know them. And he's like, why are they showing you this? I don't know. And he's like, and you're just engaged and like, oh, that's so nice and all of that. And he's like, why? Why is it that people just come up to you and just talk to you and they don't, and I guess it's a part of who I am, my personality.
Your husband sounds like my mom, so we'll be in the grocery store and she'll be like, who was that lady talking to you? Was that one of your clients? I'm like, no. She's like, what was she talking about? I'm like, she was just saying she liked my outfit or my shoes. She's like, everywhere we go. She said, that's why I don't like going places with you sometimes. She's like, you just be talking to people. And I'm like, I don't know these people. So I'm like, I don't know if it's because I work with seniors and they just know, I think I can say hi to her. I can talk to her.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those things, but it's like, I don't know. I love it. I was like, because sometimes, sometimes people just need that being able to connect to somebody else. But she's like, is that one of your clients? I'm like, no. I was like, but maybe I need to give her my
That
card.
proves your point.
Yeah.
That it's just not normal.
It's not normal.
It's not normal to not want to talk to people.
Yeah.
It's normal to approach people.
It
That's what it
is.
is. And I think once you pass that point of like, oh, this is normal for me too, people know that. They can look at you and they go, oh, I could talk to him.
I can talk to them.
Because he's used to this or whatever. I get it at work all the time. I get it in the store now and stuff like that. I'll be like, I was in fashion show. I'll just be at the mall just trying to buy some shoes and stuff like that. And somebody will ask me, yo, do you think these shoes look all right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have nobody else here to ask. And I'm like,
Yep.
yeah, no, those are fire. Why did you ask me? Like, it's so weird. Like,
see, I don't feel alone now.
Right.
no, you're not
Exactly.
crazy. You're not crazy.
Yeah.
I just feel like, we get away from that. And I feel like people need that. People really need someone to talk to.
They do.
And I feel like nobody has help. Nobody has guidance. Nobody has someone that can ask, is this a good idea?
It's a good
or
idea.
how do I do this and stuff like that's my little brother does that to me all the time. Like he'd be like, he knows what he's doing sort of, but he just wants the validation of like, if I sign up for this is a good idea and stuff like I'm like, yeah, go ahead, do whatever. They just want to be able to hear it.
Yeah.
We just need that.
Yeah.
That's all
And
it is.
there's nothing wrong with that.
not.
But you know what? I do want to say this, having the quality of being approachable and people talking to you, it makes you a great candidate for an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Because when you are that type of person, your business, soars. Your business, it grows, and each year you can see that growth. So this is to all entrepreneurs out there. If you're not approachable, that's something that you need to work on, because you need people to buy your product.
You do.
Yeah.
And people love buying product from people that they feel comfortable with. And that they feel that this person sees me, this person listens to me, this person, really cares. Like in your field, you're really caring about them. So we want to say that. I just want to make that point. Yeah. But with the insurance and the Medicare, why don't you tell them what are the qualifications? What do you need to do, number one, to be able to apply for it, to be to apply for it, to be qualified for it? What are some of the things that you have to go through in order to get it started?
So when you're retiring from your employer.
So do you have to be 65?
Well, for Medicare, unless you're disabled. So if you're disabled, you're already probably in that process working with the Social Security office to receive Medicare. So, because usually you get Medicare automatically after 24 months. Okay. If you're disabled. Usually, but there's been some certain circumstances where a person said, I've been getting disability for 5 years and I still, they're saying I don't qualify for Medicare. Either way, work with the Social Security office to see if you qualify, because you're under 65, but you're saying I'm disabled. So that's one set of people. If you are 64 and you're getting ready to turn 65 and you're saying, I'm still going to work, but I'm turning 65, so I'm, going to, transition off of my employer, the commercial insurance side, over into Medicare. You want to start about 4 months before. Now, you can apply for Medicare 3 months before your 65th birthday, the month of your 65th birthday, and 3 months after your 65th birthday. So you have about a good 6 month, 7 month time frame in order to apply for Medicare. You do that a couple of ways. You can call Social Security, schedule an appointment with the Social Security office to apply for your Medicare Part B. When you turn 65, you're automatically going to get A because you worked long enough to receive the A. But Part B is what you want to make sure you apply for. Applying for Part B will cost you $185 a month. So 3 months prior, the month of, or 3 months after is when you want to start working with the Social Security office. I think it's a good idea to do it before and not after, because it's going to take them some time to process the enrollment for the Part B. The other thing is the local offices don't take walk-ins anymore. So you can't walk into the Social Security office to apply for Medicare anymore. You can go if you have an appointment. So you have to schedule an appointment, which takes about a month and a half to get an appointment. Or you can go on SSA.gov. Anybody can have an SSA.gov account, even if you're not 65. What that account does is, like, if I log into my account, it shows you your work history from the time you started working and filing taxes. It shows you how much you made every year. It tells you what's your full retirement age and all of that good stuff. The other good thing with that account is that you can actually apply for your Medicare Part B through your SSA.gov account. So you're either going to go to the Social Security office with an appointment, or you're going to do it online. Working with the insurance side, which is where I come in, I usually like to do that about 2 to 3 months before you turn 65, so we can sit down and go over your doctors. I need to find out what medications you're taking. So before you get your card, we already kind of know, this is the plan. These are going to be your plan options, because I'd like to give you some options and some material to kind of review before you actually get your card, so you can make an educated choice on which Medicare plan is going to be the best one for you. There's not one Medicare plan that I can say, oh, I put everybody on this one plan because this is the best one for everybody. It's the best one. Which one is the best one for you? Because that's based on your doctors and your medication. So you do need to do that a couple of months before. And if you're not sure how to do that, call me. I'll help you, apply for your Medicare. And then while we're waiting on the card to come, then we start, looking at what your options are for your health plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then, this is probably a stupid question, but if you're married and you're going on Medicare, do that automatically include your husband if he's not in that age?
No.
Because some people marry younger or whatever.
No,
How
so
does that
Medicare
work?
is individual. It's everybody's Medicare. It's your Medicare. It's, your husband's Medicare. The other thing I should have mentioned with the employer, when you're deciding, should I take the Medicare Part B or should I keep my insurance through work? I usually like to sit and talk to you, because what I'm trying to find out is if you go to Medicare and pay that $185, are you going to be paying less than what you're paying for your insurance through the job? Because if the insurance through the job is going to give you the same benefits as what you're getting with Medicare, but it's less expensive, then I usually tell people it's your choice. But if you want to keep your insurance through work, keep your insurance through work. It's fine. But when you get ready to retire, and say, I'm coming off the job for sure, because some people turn 65, but they're still working and they have insurance through work. In that case, you don't have to take Medicare Part B, because they have what's called, it's a penalty. You have like a penalty if you don't take your Medicare. And some people say, oh, no, I got to take it because if I don't take it, I'm going to have this penalty. Not necessarily, because if you're working and you have insurance through your employer, then that penalty doesn't apply to you. It only applies if you are working, or you're 65 rather, and you decide, I'm not taking the Part B because I don't want to have to pay for it, but I also don't have insurance through work. And then 2 years down the line, you say, okay, I'm having some issues. Now I need to sign up for Part B. They're going to charge you a 10% penalty for every year that you should have had the Part B that you didn't sign up for, and that penalty is for life. So if you're not sure,
10%?
10% on the
They crazy
on the
because
Part
you
B
didn't
side.
apply?
So if you wait 2 years, you're going to pay $185
Like,
plus. So say you waited a year and you didn't do it. So they're going to charge you a 10% penalty in addition to the $185. And that 10% is for life.
That's crazy.
And that's only because you didn't
but
have
they
insurance.
already have insurance.
Well, no, this is if you don't have any insurance. You could, if you're working and your job doesn't offer any insurance, and you say, yeah, I need it, I'll take the Part A because it's free, but I can't afford the Part B, and you just opt not to take it. But now a year later, you say, okay, now I need it. You can sign up for your Part B, but
But
they're going to charge you a penalty.
penalty.
So if you're not sure if that penalty applies to you, you can call me. I know I don't work for Social Security, but I know enough about it to say, no, you're good. Because if you have insurance through work, you don't actually have to take the Part B, especially if the Part B is more than what you're paying through work.
Right,
Now, that's whether the plan is through your job or whether you're on your wife's plan. Because if you're on a spouse's plan and you're turning 65, it's still going to be the same thing. Let's look at what your spouse's plan is offering you and how much your spouse is paying for you to be on that plan. And if you decide to take your Part B, then that means you come off of Miss Sheila's plan and now you're on your own. So Miss Sheila keeps her insurance through work, and now you're Medicare. You're on the Medicare side.
Okay.
See, that's very important.
Yeah.
Like, because I think that's crazy too, but my thoughts don't count. Because why you give me 10%? Because, like, see, you learn something new every single day.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I don't know why, but yeah, and even on the prescription drug side, there's a penalty if you didn't have prescription drug coverage, and now you say, okay.
What's that penalty? 10%?
No, that one's like a 1%. It's real small.
Just,
It's like 1%.
This year, my insurance don't cover my blood pressure medicine.
What?
They just changed that?
They just changed it.
So they took that medication off the formulary is what that means. It's like they have a formulary of certain medicines that they're covering, and they took yours off for whatever reason. So they're not covered anymore. Because those change every year too. Even on my side. But
blood pressure medicine you're supposed to take daily. So
right, but even on my side so in Nevada, I represent like 8 different companies, and all those formularies don't all cover the same medicines. And sometimes like what's being covered this year, they may not cover it next year.
Yeah.
So I send letters to my clients around September saying annual enrollment starts October 15th. It ends December 7th. If you have an issue or a problem with your plan or been thinking you want to change something, call me, because this is going to be the time frame for us to meet to change you. Or if I know certain medications are coming off of a formulary, then we probably need to talk, because we probably need to change you, because I know next year they're not going to cover your medicine on that plan. So we need to look at putting you on something else.
I'm wondering what's going to happen with the insurance, because even with the Obamacare, the deductibles are really high.
It's going to be a lot of changes for 2026.
Yeah.
You think it's going to get higher? Because my deductible now is $8,000.
I think it'll be in select areas. It'll probably get really high. Yeah.
Yep, I think so.
Yeah, based on whatever they're focusing on, that they're changing and stuff like that. Because there's a lot that they cover. There's a lot that they do. Some things might even go lower because they're like, oh, this is now easier now. But I think in many areas it's going to go up.
I think copays are going to go up on medications, and copays are going to go up on some of the services. Like if you didn't have a copay for a specialist office before, you might have a copay on a specialist office next year.
I have a copay, and mine's it's not really bad because I go to the doctor, I pay $30, I think. And then for specialists, I pay $100.
Okay. So on the commercial, so like on the Medicare side, it's a little different. So like on the HMO, they don't have copays for primary or specialist. On the PPO side, they don't have a copay for primary, but they have copays for the specialist.
I'd rather have PPO. I don't like HMO.
Because you like the flexibility of being able to go to whatever doctor you need to see without having a referral.
Yeah. I like the PPOs.
PPOs aren't like stuck in a network or anything like that? Or
well, PPOs, you have your doctor and everything, but like for HMO, they won't cover it. Like if I'm in a different state and I get sick and they rush me to the hospital, HMO is not going to pay for that.
So you don't even have coverage for emergency or urgent care on the.
I have emergency and urgent care. Okay. But even with emergency and urgent care, if I don't go to the follow-up doctor and they say, she really needed it, then they're not going to pay for it. And so if I'm even there, I have in the emergency room for the HMO, they tell you which hospitals you can go to. Yeah. If they are out of network, which if you're in another state that's out of network, they don't pay. But PPO, they're going to pay no matter where you're at.
See, now on the Medicare side, HMO and PPO, you can be out of state.
Oh, you can.
And you can use urgent care or ER because it's emergency or it's urgent. So they don't restrict
that's good.
So they don't restrict it that way.
Man, hurry up, 65.
Right. No, don't hurry up.
No.
No, don't
We can
hurry
slow
up.
down time. We're okay.
Right.
We're okay.
I know, right? But let's slow down just a little bit. But
Hey,
yeah,
shoot,
so
I've been working all my life. I want my Social Security.
yeah, so many people, they do like the PPO because they like the flexibility. And so the good thing on the Medicare side, there are HMO and PPOs for those people that say, no, I had PPO when I was working. I'd still like the PPO. They do have that option. So you could actually do either one. But on the HMO, your copays are definitely cheaper. Your benefits are higher and your copays are a little less.
And so how can people get in touch with you and tell them which states you work in and how they can contact you?
So I am 5 states. I am Nevada, California, Louisiana, Missouri, Washington State, and Michigan.
Okay.
So any of those states, if you're watching, you can call me. My phone number to contact me is area code 702-945-8876. Or you can contact me on my 800 number, which is 1-888-502-0122. So call me, text me, whatever. Talk about it.
And do you have a certain type of clients that you accept and that you know, like, do you have people that you will accept and people you won't accept, or
So
is it just open?
Yeah, I'm pretty open because I work with anyone that's Medicare eligible. So if you have a red, white, and blue Medicare card, including Medicaid. So if you're both, we call them Medi-Medi. So if you're Medicare or if you're Medi-Medi, which means you're Medicaid, even if it's partial Medicaid, I work with anybody that has a Medicare card. You could be a veteran, especially the veterans, because veterans don't always feel like they need the Medicare Part B because they get their services through the VA. But VA is not insurance; it's a health benefit, but it's not insurance. So if you're experiencing those long wait times and all of that stuff, and you say, "Yep, I took the Part A because it was free, but I didn't take Part B because I have to pay the Part B premium," there are specific Medicare Advantage plans just for veterans. Okay. You can still do your services through VA, but the good thing with those plans is those plans pay up to $100 of the Medicare Part B premium. So you're not paying the full Part B premium. So that gives you another option outside of VA to be able to see, doctors on the outside, and you can still do whatever you do through VA, but then now you have another set of doctors if you need them that you can be able to see if you don't want to have to wait to, get in with the VA or whatever. So there are specific plans for veterans. So if you're a veteran as well and you have Medicare, I can help you as well. So anybody that has Medicare and you are interested in a Medicare Advantage plan that's giving you, all of your medical care needs, your prescription drugs are included. Most of those plans include your vision, your dental, their gym memberships. Some of them give you groceries, all of that good stuff. So it's not
they give
for
my
everybody.
mom grocery. They give her, I think it's $75.
Yeah, there's some plans
they
that
give
will
her
give you food.
$75.
Yeah,
I think my grandma gets that too.
Yeah. They give it. Some of them they get 180 or whatever. I was like, why my mama ain't get 180?
Well, it's because of the state. Each state has different benefits, even if it's the same company. Because United here might give you 197, where United back home in Chicago or Michigan might only give you 150 or 160 because all the plans give different benefits based on the state. Yeah, that's something they negotiate. But yeah, some people are eligible for the food assistance in their plan. It's not everybody. So don't take them phone calls from people saying, "Oh, I'm calling because you get these." Everybody don't qualify for food benefits. Some people qualify, a lot of people do not, but that's just a way for them to get you talking over the phone about your Medicare. And the other thing, that's illegal. We're not allowed to call you over the phone to talk to you about your Medicare, and we didn't have your permission to call you.
Ooh, that's very good to let people know that.
That's very good to know.
Can't do that.
Okay.
So I can't.
Because they call my mom all the time.
No, we're not.
She gets calls all the time.
We're not allowed to do that. So you can tell them, you don't have my permission, so I'm going to hang up and I want you. But of course, they call, a lot of them are telemarketer calls or call centers, but they don't even know really if you have Medicare. They're asking you certain questions to find out if you do. So then they can say, please hold, I'm going to transfer you to a licensed sales agent. We're not allowed to just call you over the phone. And if your neighbor says, oh, tell your broker, your agent to call me, and you say, well, here's her number, I can't call her even though you talked to her about me. I have to tell you what is her name, let her know I'm expecting her call, because I can't call her even if you told me. My neighbor said it's fine. We've been knowing each other for 20 years. We can't do that. That's not allowed.
Yeah.
See, I like that.
No.
When people follow the rules that's governed behind the profession that you're in.
Yes, ma'am.
Because a lot of times, you know, I have a lot of rules that I have to follow. And it angers people because they'll say, oh, well, I went to this person and they were going to get me this amount. Well, then go to that person. I'm following the rules that governs my, you know, profession.
Yeah.
And just like you said, you're following the rules that governs your profession. And when you do that, when you follow the rules that governs your profession, you go to bed at night and you sleep and you don't worry about, oh, am I going to get caught or what's going to happen? Your business flows and it does what it needs to do.
And I'm not trying to lose my license or my business because I called you because your neighbor said, and then you report me and say that lady called me because you know, like, well, how did she call you? Did you give her? No, she just. I'm not. Listen, it takes time to build your business, and you put all your time and your sweat and your tears and all that into it. It doesn't make sense. So do it the right way. Just be honest and just do it the right way. Do you
have websites that they can also visit?
My website is VEGASHealthandLife.com. VEGASHealthandLife.com. And that's going to be changing soon. So it's going to be yeah. You can still you can
got
use
social
it.
medias?
No social. Well, I have Facebook, and it's the same thing on Facebook. It's Vegas Health and Life. I'm going to be adding. It's going to be changing to BUCKNER Health and Life only because I have those other 5 states. This one was my original, which was why it was Vegas Health and Life, but now I'm in the other 5 states. So I'm like, well, I can't be Vegas Health and Life in Louisiana. So it's going to be BUCKNER Health and Life in the other states, and it'll be Vegas Health and Life here, but it'll be the same website. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. So this was great. You know, I know we don't went over our hour. We always go over.
We always
go over. Like, bear with us. We just trying to get y'all the information that y'all need to be successful.
And we might have had a lot of fun today, too.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun, too. So, you know, it was a great episode. And for all of you that's watching, please hit that follow button. You know, follow us and listen to each and every episode because each one is going to give you information. It's going to give you tools, and it's going to give you, you know, the know-how to not make the common mistakes that most business owners make. You know, this is about education. It's about sharing, you know, information, because information is some form of wealth. It is, you know. And as I always end and tell you, what good is that information, education, knowledge if it's not shared? So share, people. So, hey, if you are a business owner and you want to sit on this couch, please hit us up. You can hit, you know, me up on our websites. You can also email us at info@shewinsbookkeeping.com. Also, Tim, give them your email that they can send you an email if they want to come on.
Yeah, it'll be linked in the description. If you look in Spotify, Apple, YouTube, it'll all be right there. Any inquiries or anything like that, I'll have it there for you guys.
Yes. So we have all of that information. So hit us up if you want to sit on that couch and tell your story. And even if your story is not full of success, it's still important. So hit us up, and until next week for the next episode, see you then.